It is the first time we've had a real-time physics engine in our game. Leads to very fluid, very believable collisions, very accurate, and kind of acts like a smoothing continuity effect on the game. So when you see things, they're very realistic, they keep you in the moment and don't pull you out. So it's probably the largest change we've made to the game since this transition to this console generation.
Because something that I find in sports games is that whenever you rip something out and you do something completely new, it usually takes one year for it to sort of set itself and for you to sort of balance everything out and get it right. Was it important to be able to have more than 1 year for this, to work to get this to a point where you're comfortable with releasing it?
So for the player impact engine, yeah, I mean technically it's been a very difficult thing to do, but it's also solved a number of very hard things for us. When you talk about balancing, the bigger challenge in the early development cycle anyway was trying to make sure that the precision dribbling and the tactical defending were working in tandem very well. So we talk about a trinity of gameplay innovations, and the reason we say that is all three of them are very important. So on the one hand, you have precision dribbling, which is a very high fidelity control system of the ball, very rewarding and engaging for good dribblers. On the other hand, you have the new tactical defending, which is about engaging your brain when you don't have the ball, rather than just a mindless button press. You now have to position and read the play and then react if you want. And then you've got the player impact engine that kind of sits above them both. When those two things come together, you have these really outstanding animations for the collision. So it was important for us to make sure there was good harmony in the system, and I think we've done that this year.
Because I think that defending in FIFA games and football games in general has usually been something like a good defender is someone who attacks the ball and makes the tackles, whereas someone who's got his skills in another way, you usually have one stopper who's like who's doing that, and then someone who falls behind, covers up angles, makes sure that no one gets through, and that sort of part of the game hasn't really been represented before.
So this is why we've done tactical defending. When people were pressing that press button in previous FIFAs, they were launching defenders like homing missiles up the pitch, and while at times there's a good reason for that, and some teams do defend like that in real life, in our game it often led to this like suite of problems, everything from the formation being broken because you're pulling players out from too deep and putting them in the wrong place, through to this overwhelming sense of pressure, so people were like button mashing to pass the ball around. So removing that and introducing a more cerebral and an authentic kind of take on defending with tactical defending has been something we've been wanting to do now for a little while, and this year we're finally happy enough to kind of get it out there and let the fans experience a very different FIFA. So
in terms of the full collision things, how does that sort of affect something like the goalkeeper, like in terms of a corner or getting past players or getting something that's, it's not a foul, or is it a foul? It's like in a grey area. How do you deal with all of that?
So the goalkeepers also have real-time physics on them with the player impact engine, and obviously collisions can occur not just on the ground but also in the air. Something that we've obviously solved with the player impact engine are those moments where mid-cycle in an animation a collision occurs. They now unfold in a very believable way, and obviously we have a near limitless variety of outcomes from those collisions. As far as, is it a foul, is it not a foul? It's something that we've been working on a lot. Obviously goalkeepers used to have either a yes it was a foul, no it wasn't. Now there is more nuance in all of our collisions, so the player impact engine allows us to kind of do every type of collision, from a gentle shove right the way through to a brutal two-footed sliding tackle. So we've had to do a lot of work there.
And I think it differs from country to country what's a foul and what's not as well.
Probably, yeah, you're probably right.
So in terms of the online component, what are you trying to bring that's new this year?
Sure, so we're not talking about our game modes as far as online is concerned, but one of the big announcements at E3 was the EA Sports Football Club. It's a very big deal for us. We wanted to make sure that this massive appetite we have for football and this massive appetite that fans have for playing FIFA is serviced. So with FIFA 12, we're kicking off the EA Sports Football Club. Basically everything you do in FIFA now matters. It's like the heartbeat of the game. So the more you play, the better you are at the game, no matter where in the game or who you're playing with. You'll accumulate experience points, you'll level up, and you'll be able to compare yourself against your friends, see if you're better than them or not, as well as also compare yourself to the whole world. So there's this kind of global leaderboard, if you like, of how good am I at FIFA now. On top of that, we're also surfacing that information within the game, so you'll see when your friends are leveling up, when they're losing games, when they're winning games, as well as making sure that that's being pushed out to our website, easportsfootball.com, and from there you can throw it onto Facebook if you want, etc. On top of that, you know, everyone that plays FIFA is a fan of a club, so we're introducing a feature called Support Your Club, where you can pledge your allegiance to a real football team, and then when you're playing the game, everything you do not only contributes to your experience points and your levelling up, but on a weekly basis we'll be capturing everything that you do for your club too, and that will go towards a kind of virtual leaderboard for those clubs. Teams will be promoted and relegated based on the success and the skill of the fans of that club. So every week is a season. Every season teams will be promoted, teams will be relegated. I'm hoping Leicester City get promoted to the Premier League and see a bit of excitement there for a change. And on top of that, we're also ripping stuff from the real world and pushing it into the game just to keep the content fresh and exciting, keep our fans engaged, because we know they want that.
Is it going to be a numbers game, who has the most fans, or is it going to be interesting for like a League Two club as well as a Premiership club to sort of be in there?
Totally. So the way it works is if I am a Leicester City fan and I earn 500 points and every other Leicester City fan earns 500 points in that week too, we're averaging out rather than doing it as a total pot. So obviously Manchester United, very popular, more fans. What we want to see is the skill of those fans. So what is the average score of those fans rather than how many fans have they got. So it's fair, it's about who you support, not who you're playing with. So you know, if you're a Man United fan, you can still play with Barcelona if you want, and we won't hold it against you, but everything you're doing is for the team you support rather than the team you're playing with.